Grand Prix Insights is presented by Allianz.
The 7th Grand Prix of the year takes us to Canada. The circuit in Montreal is extremely fast, so it's vital to have good brakes. And that the brakes, like everything in Formula One, are made to withstand maximum stress.
So this here is my brake on my left front wheel. You can't see much because it's all covered up. If you imagine just lifting off the throttle, you get about 1.2 G of deceleration, which is, you can never get more in a road car, even if you hit the brakes as hard as you possibly can. And if we then also hit the brakes as hard as we can in this by putting 100 bar onto the pedal, we decelerate by about 5 G. And it really throws you into the seat belts which are holding you. At the same time you have to push against the steering wheel, and at the same time you have to precisely turn into the corner. So it really is quite an amazing part of driving the F1 car.
In Canada, the teams run with fairly flat wings and therefore modest downforce. That gives greater speed and thus more cooling for the brakes. And that's really vital for the track's winding sections.
Cooling is absolutely vital, the cooling for the brakes. And if there is a mistake or there is a little problem on brake temperatures, you end up in deep trouble because the brakes are not going to survive until the end of the race.
Driving at the absolute limit. This is possible because increasingly better technology and permanent tests make cars safe for drivers even in extreme situations. In a crash, the carbon fiber crash structures surrounding the monocoque absorb energy, protecting the driver from injury.
The way they improve safety from one year to another, if you look back 20 years to now, it's such an unbelievable change. It's unimaginable, really.
Formula One has never been as safe as it is today. Just last year, Robert Kubica survived his hefty crash here before the hairpin almost unscathed. With this key spot comes a long straight. Then, just before the finish, the famous Wall of Champions.
It's a challenging corner because it's at the end of a very, very long straight where you're arriving at very high speeds, around 330 kilometers per hour, and you have to brake down into a third gear chicane, which is quite fast, with very high curbs. And if you make the smallest mistake in the first part, you might be catapulted through the second part.
And it's precisely there that you find the wall, with which many a champion has already become acquainted, hence the name. The drivers come past here another 69 times. Then we'll know who will be the champion of Montreal this time, hopefully with no one crashing into the wall.
Grand Prix Insights was presented by Allianz.